A single corpse standing beyond a steel door, waiting in perfect silence. Inside, a teenager named Minjun was about to make a choice far more desperate than starvation. The story opens with a bird's-eye view of a sprawling city. But in one unremarkable corner, young Minjun finds his escape. The glow of a gaming screen illuminates his small world, a temporary refuge from the reality waiting outside his door. Wake up to hell. The alarm drags Minjun from fitful dreams into a harsher reality. Exhausted from another gaming marathon, his first conscious thought echoes the same old dread. I'm done with this place. A simple note from his mom. Eat well, go to school. Each word meant with love, each one a link in his chains. It's in this moment of quiet despair that the rebellious thought crystallizes. I want to quit. The very love meant to hold him up is pulling him under. Stepping outside highlights the divide. Minjun stands in his worn-out alley, gazing at the gleaming towers in the distance. The kids who live over there? They can't even imagine a life like mine. Between him and their golden world is nothing but the empty air he's staring up into. Same old walk from a worn-out neighborhood to the antiseptic walls of Seonggun High. But today feels different. A quiet voice whispers in his mind. The end is coming. Buddy, for you, it already has. The gears of fate begin to turn, silent and unseen. School isn't a classroom. It's a proving ground. One moment he's in class, the next he's eating floor. Feck. The impact is brutal. His attacker feigns concern. Are you okay? I was going easy on you. The peanut gallery cheers. That last move was awesome. Violence here is just entertainment. A voice. A quiet one, but clear. Park Songbin turns. It's Minjun. That familiar, cruel smirk spreads across his face. This bastard Minjun. Has he been too soft lately? Looks like someone needs a reminder. You're getting pretty damn bold. You punk. But this time, an interruption. Han Yena, the golden girl, steps between them, arms crossed. What are you, a toddler? I told you to stop bullying the losers. Her words are a whip. And make no mistake, in Yena's eyes, Minjun and Songbin are just two sides of the same trash coin. The class mascot. One of Songbin's crew slings an arm around Minjun's neck, announcing his new title. The taunts fly, but the real gut punch comes next. The one you hate the most is Han Yena, isn't she? They're poking at the very wound Minjun is too ashamed to even admit exists. Han Yena lives in another world. The Semper Blue Palace apartment is a landmark she inhabits. One Minjun just stares at. Doctor father, professional mother, filthy rich. Queen of social media, top-tier student. The perfect golden spoon. But that perfection comes with a sharp edge. Cherry blossom selfies? Check. Burning the midnight oil? Double check. Studying abroad in the US next year? Of course. Everything about her gleams, a world away from the grime of Minjun's existence. But what lies beneath that perfect surface? A perfect girl? On the outside. Her one flaw? She looks down on poor people and losers with absolute contempt. That gaze says it all. What are you staring at? Puffed. LOL. Under that look, Minjun's blood runs cold. The memory hits. 8th grade, first time in the same class. Mustering every ounce of courage, Minjun catches up to Yena on the way home. Excuse me, are you going the same way home? His voice trembles. It's his first bold move and the setup for his first total defeat. She turns. With chilling calm, she delivers the kill shot. You smell, so could you stop following me? If you're going the same way, please just go separately. And he understands. Han Yena despises him. And he, young Minjun, smells like poverty. Back to the present. Once again, she's his desk partner. She always smiles. He's perpetually annoyed. Why is he always in her class? Why does she always look down on him, mock him? Then, the worst thought of all, do I still like her? The idea sickens him. Isn't it ironic? Developing feelings for someone who constantly scorns you. Brutalized by Park Songbin, devastated by Han Yena. Day in, day out, he wades through shame just to breathe. Is this a life, or just a slow-motion death sentence? He does have friends. Sunho and Byongjin, the only two who get him. They're talking anime, gaming events. If IT weren't for school, I could have gone to the event this morning. But seriously, who holds a game offline event on a weekday morning? Sunho's mind is on an idol concert instead. These guys are lucky. Good classes, no bullies. Watching them excitedly plan to snag concert tickets, Minjun feels only envy. They're seriously lucky guys. Born with good luck. Guess I'm the only one cursed with a miserable life. The isolation washes over him again. Minjun! They rush over, phone screen blazing with a Lumina Jin fan cam. Are you coming to the Lumina concert or not? We're going to try for tickets. I've got to go fangirl over Jin and M. Their excitement is a fire, but inside Minjun, all that's left is cold ash. His answer drops like a bombshell. An awkward laugh, a cold no thanks, and then the declaration that shocks his friends to the core. From now on, I don't give a damn about idols anymore. Quit being a fan of the top-tier idol Lumina Jin? The reactions are instant. What? No way. That's some next-level crazy. And one observation cuts deepest. He looks even more lifeless than usual today. Rumors swirl at school. People losing their minds over gossip? Pathetic. He walks towards a familiar, hateful sight. The blue door with the number 2 to 3 on it. Today is the day. The day he cuts everything off. The new guy, Kong Hakchiel, a commie bastard who escaped the north. Minjun sizes him up in his mind. He's shorter than me. I bet I could kick his ass. Songbin does MMA, so he'd stand no chance. LOL. This is what his school life has boiled down to: petty calculations and pointless animosity. He hears it, the whispers behind his back, the vile comments about where he came from, mocking his past. Then a cold voice cuts through it. Hey, Kong Hakchiel turns, his gaze sharp enough to cut glass. What did you just say? The temperature in the room plummets. Conflict explodes. Park Songbin grabs Hakchiel by the collar. Violence is his native tongue. What? UF asterisk king bastard. You got a problem. Watch your mouth. Fists and fury are milliseconds away. The classroom has become a boxing ring. Someone tries to intervene, but Songbin isn't listening. He breaks free, locking his wild eyes on Hakchiel, delivering a chilling threat. You came all the way to South Korea. If you don't want to die here, just go to school quietly. This isn't a warning. It's a declaration of power. Minjun watches the drama unfold from his desk. This shitty class in this shitty school. The last shred of hope for this place dies. The school building, bathed in sunlight, looks like a giant tombstone. Yeah, starting tomorrow, I'm quitting this shitty school. That's the shortcut to happiness in my hellish life. The final bell rings, the sound of freedom. Starting tomorrow, I'm never coming to school again. He steps out with the delirious determination of a prisoner tasting freedom. But fate is rarely so kind. Hey, the voice he dreads most, clinging to him like a curse. Park Songbin emerges with that trademark. You're lucky, I noticed you grin. Oh, perfect timing, haha. I'm trying to get some cigarettes. Can you help me out? Just go ask that grandma over there. He treats Minjun like a personal servant. But today, Minjun is done playing his part. He does it. No more imaginary retribution. He simply takes a step, then another, and walks away, leaving Park Songbin and his shouts hanging in the air like smoke. Hey, young Minjun, aren't you coming here? You ignoring me? Stunned whispers erupt. Damn, WTF? Minjun's insane, LOL. Songbin's jaw is on the pavement. This bastard. Park Songbin's pride shattered. In a forgotten alley, near rusting construction containers, Minjun is dragged and cornered. A brick to the back, fists and boots like hail. UGH, GH. Minjun can't even scream. Songbin can't comprehend this defiance from the broke-ass trash bastard. Kneeling over the crumpled figure, his eyes hold nothing but pure malice. This crazy MF. Why is he acting up so much today? This broke SS trash bastard. On the way home, there they are again, Park Songbin and his crew. But this time, Minjun doesn't even blink. He walks right past them. Bad move. Being ignored by his favorite punching bag in front of the gang is the ultimate insult for Songbin. Game on. That face says it all. He's had it. Songbin grabs Minjun by the collar and drags him into a nearby abandoned building. This is the real deal now. No witnesses, no rules. You're my dog, he snarls. Defy me? I'll beat you until you beg. But Songbin's cruelty knows no bounds. Listen up, he hisses into Minjun's ear. If you even think about writing my name in your suicide note, be ready. Because after you die, I'll go find your mom, alone and helpless, and kill her too. Even his own crony looks shaken. That's crossing a line, man. Minjun's spirit shatters. Just kill me, please. He's dumped on the cold concrete, a hollow shell. Walking alone through empty streets, one dark thought consumes him. I wish the world would just end tomorrow. Look at him. The kid who once just wanted to avoid a beating now finds every breath an agony. Where does despair lead? Minjun looks up. There it is. Han Yina's towering luxury apartment complex. If I fall from there, it's over. He thinks dying here, at least, is less pathetic than in his own shabby home. Step by step, he climbs the stairs. Little did he know, fate's gears were about to grind into motion. And then, hey, his blood runs cold. He turns. It's her, Han Yina, the untouchable swan he could only admire from afar. now standing in the sunlight, staring at him with utter disdain. What are you doing here? This isn't your home. She interrogates him. What happened to your face? Did someone hit you? Minjun stays silent, fresh bruises over old ones. Shame strangles him. She's right. He doesn't belong in a place where people like her live. The last thread of reason snaps. He looks at her and utters the dark truth coiled in his gut. I came here to end everything. 2D. In your apartment. The words hang in the air, and Han Yena's expression shifts from disgust to pure, unadulterated shock. But that shock morphs instantly into rage. No sympathy, no comfort. She unleashes on him like a scorned lioness. You're so damn frustrating. If a loser like Park Songbin bullies you, why don't you just fight back? Seeing someone like you just makes me feel so damn pathetic. Every word is a scalpel, dissecting the last shred of his dignity. And with that, she turns and walks away, leaves him standing there, stunned. But the strangest thing happens. Her vicious tirade, instead of sinking him deeper, acts like a bucket of ice water. It shocks him out of his suicidal spiral. Watching her retreat, he feels not shame, but something new and confusing. Minjun heads home too. Pathetic, weak. Her words echo, but with them comes a seed of resolve, planted the moment she walked away. Tomorrow, I'm definitely saying something to that bastard Park Songbin. For the first time, the perpetual victim thinks about pushing back. Back in his messy room, he puts on his headset and hits the power button. Let's just play a game. But he can't help the bitter laugh. This is ridiculous. I gave up on dying just because of Han Yena. Well, what she said was right. On the eve of the apocalypse, a teenager's life is put on pause, not ended, by a few cutting words from a girl he barely knows. Later that night, Minjun loses himself in the game, a temporary escape from the day's horrors. From tomorrow, I'll help Mom with work. He tries to find a new anchor. His friends are online, guns blazing in-game. It feels like maybe, just maybe, things can go back to normal. But that's the biggest lie of all. Suddenly, chaos erupts on voice chat. Hey, did you see the news? It's total chaos out there. Minjun's clueless. Huh, what news? Then, one friend drops a bombshell. Something came up, gotta go, and logs off. He's still fighting virtual zombies, oblivious to the real-world monsters about to break down his door. It gets worse. Another friend chimes in. Minjun, I think I have to go too. Click. Alt flying. Pure panic sets in. What? Even Byongjin too? A chill of dread crawls up his spine. This isn't a coincidence. And then, bang, 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 violent pounding erupts on his flimsy apartment door. He whips around. 10 o'clock? Who is it? Only violent thuds and guttural moans answer. Who are you? He shouts, creeping closer. The reply makes his blood freeze. Ah, and the door. A terrible thought hits him. My upstairs neighbor? Drunk again and at the wrong door? He cautiously cracks it open. And in that split second, a bloody hand slams against the door. A face contorted in rage, eyes bulging, mouth foaming with blood, fills the gap. Gua a dash. This is no drunken stupor. The man is covered in blood, eyes wild, snarling like a rabid animal, shoving against the door. No way. Instinct kicks in. Minjun slams his whole weight against the door with a deafening crash. Outside, furious pounding and inhuman roars. Inside, Minjun's ragged breaths and trembling legs. He dares a peek through the peephole. Oh God, the stairwell and hallway are a bloodbath. Splatter painting the walls and floor. This isn't a drunk. This is a massacre. What the hell is that bloody thing outside his door? Once the pounding stops, Minjun slumps against the wall, utterly drained. He's just drunk. He mutters, trying to convince himself. But the hallway bloodbath, the monstrous neighbor, his missing friends, the pieces form a terrifying puzzle. Something is very, very wrong with the world. All right, listen up. This man here is our main character, Young Minjun. Asterisk, asterisk, quick shout out to our team / Discord link. But forget that. Strap in, because our story is about to plunge headfirst into the brutal second act. The apocalypse is here, and it's no joke. Day 3 of the outbreak. The gruesome bloodstain outside Minjun's door has been mopped up, but the stench of fear and that monster neighbor memory, those linger. Hand on the doorknob, he takes a deep breath. It's time. Time to see what hell the outside world has become. Creak. The door opens. The stairwell is dark, unnervingly quiet. Then his blood runs cold. At the turn of the stairs, a figure sways unsteadily. Clothes bloodied, movements jerky, eyes empty. It's him. The rooftop Hyung he pushed off the building. And he's back. Stupidly, his first instinct is concern. Joshi, are you okay? Should I call 119? No response. Just a low, guttural gurgle from throat. Then it turns its head. eyes blood red and bulging, jaw hanging open, drool and blood dripping. This is not a man anymore. The creature unleashes a raw, animalistic roar. Guaah dash. And lunges. It's too close. Ajushi, why are you acting like this? Puritiror. Minjun throws his hands up defensively, palms slamming into the creature's bloody, unnaturally hard chest. Kugh. Now he sees it, a massive, ragged bite wound on its neck. For fuck's sake! Survival instinct screams. Summoning every ounce of strength, he drives his shoulder into the creature, shoving it back with a heavy thud. But feels no pain. It snarls and charges again. In the scramble, Minjun's hand finds something cold and hard on the floor, a hammer left by a repairman. No time to think. Get back. He swings for the fences, putting his entire life's desperation into one blow. Thud. A sickening crack. The creature collapses. Minjun stands over it, hammer dripping, chest heaving, legs trembling uncontrollably. Huff. Huff. He looks at the blood-smeared hallway, at the unmoving thing on the floor. The final, horrifying truth clicks into place. The world is over. The dead are walking. In a panic, he does what anyone would, call for help. He scrambles back inside, grabs his phone, and frantically dials the emergency number. Police. But the line is dead. Only empty static. What? He tries again. And again. Nothing. The lines are down. Every lifeline has been cut. The faint glow of his phone screen illuminates his pale, stricken face. He slumps to the floor, clutching the now useless brick of technology. The last thread to the old world snaps. From this moment on, Young Minjun, a 17-year-old high school student, is utterly, terrifyingly alone. He must survive this new, flesh-eating hell by himself. His phone erupts with a storm of crimson alerts. Seoul is over. Something heavy slams outside. Minjun scrambles behind the door, his heart pounding against his ribs. Through the crack, the world he knew is gone. The street is a slaughterhouse. Bodies and blood everywhere. Screams and animalistic howls fill the air. Minjun's eyes widen in horror. That man from the floor above is hunting people down? No, his mom isn't home. The call goes through, answered by static, and a bloody gash of skin glimpsed on the screen. Minjun's breath hitches, his spine turning to ice. His mom's phone is dead. Outside, the street is painted red. A heavy thud rattles the window. In the darkness of his own room, a low, guttural growl echoes. Network down. Power dying. Every lifeline to the outside world is severed. Trapped in a shrinking box, the only light is his failing phone, incapable of finding a single bar. A sudden noise behind him, heart leaping into his throat. Minjun throws himself against the wooden door ahead, tumbling and scrambling out into the open. But the deadly attack isn't over. Desperately fleeing back to the rooftop, Minjun hears the door slam open. The rooftop Hyung, now fully transformed, charges out with a guttural roar. His face is a mask of pure hunger, and Minjun is backed into a corner. The nightmare is now flesh and blood. Too late to run. The creature's strength is terrifying. It grabs Minjun, hauling him bodily over the balcony railing. His body is helpless in the air, in a terrifying freefall towards the concrete and bricks meters down. This impact could be fatal. Consciousness returns through a haze of pain. Minjun tries to move, but his body screams in protest. His eyes focus on the blood staining the floor, his own blood. A single thought echoes. I fell from that height. Am I dying? Primitive survival instinct takes over. Dragging his battered body, Minjun somehow crawls up the stairs. Every gasp for air is a struggle, his clothes soaked with sweat. His sole focus, the door. With a final desperate heave, he shoves it open. He stumbles into his familiar, now ruined, apartment. The wound on his back burns. Curled on the floor, his whole body trembles with pain and shock. His voice is a broken whisper. The rooftop, Hyung, that name is now his living nightmare. Physically safe, but his mind is in ruins. The thought, did I just kill someone, coils around him like a snake. He stares at his bloodied hands, drowning in fear and guilt. He wants to scream, to deny it, but all he sees is the creature. No, the person falling. Time stretches in his private hell of guilt. From day to night, Minjun huddles in the corner, repeating the mantra. He attacked me first. He tries to believe it, but the shadow of guilt only grows. He ended a life, even if it was a monster. That day, he is tortured by guilt. All day long, did I really make the rooftop Hyung fall to his death? There's no answer, only endless torment. He's trapped in that moment of the fall forever. Driven by a morbid need to confirm the nightmare, Minjun ventures towards the alley. The sight chills his blood. The street is littered with corpses, and from the shadows, something drenched in blood stumbles towards him. He sees it clearly. It is the rooftop Hyung. He's not dead, but he's become something else. Gurgling in pain on the ground, surrounded by blood. Minjun is paralyzed. They don't die, even from a fall like that. In this moment, Minjun understands. This isn't an illness, it's total transformation. They're no longer human. Looking at the thing that was Hyung, he can only whisper, "I'm sorry, Hyung." He slams the door shut, blocking out the guttural roars and desperate banging. Since that day, everything changed. Strangely enough, looking at those things that are no longer human, his fear begins to fade. Maybe it's because he has little left to lose. Day 3 dawns, the sun is harsh, the streets are silent. He makes himself a hot meal, a tiny, fragile piece of normalcy in the apocalypse. Hiding in the basement, Minjun does the math. Food will run out. Rescue may never come. It's time to fight or die. He plans to go back upstairs, to risk a signal fire on the roof. The timid high school student is being forced to grow the fangs of a survivor. I'll have to go out tomorrow. As he makes the decision, painful memories of bullying flood back. Park Songbin's fists, the pain in his face, the taste of blood. Maybe it's because he was already prepared to give up on life days ago, that he can face this now. After yesterday, those zombie-like people don't scare him as much anymore. But just as he thinks that, a sudden sound jolts him out of his chair. What now? Who could it possibly be at a time like this? It's Mom's call. The first phone call in the apocalypse is from his mom. His heart leaps into his throat. He grabs the phone, his voice shaking. Hello? Mom. Her voice is frantic. Minjun, where are you? Are you okay? A lifeline at last. Mom's voice delivers a mix of hope and despair. She evacuated with the military to a southern shelter. She's safe. She begs him to stay put, promises to send a rescue team. But just then, the signal crackles. An ominous static fills the line. The call cuts off. Damn it, cut off again, he yells in frustration. Just as despair sets in, his phone starts buzzing like crazy. What the? I'm getting messages all of a sudden. Is it Mom? Or someone else? The flame of hope flickers. The messages are from friends Byonjin and Sunho. They're checking on each other, mentioning air raid sirens and police. Seeing his friends help each other gives Minjun a sliver of comfort. But he also realizes no one else has contacted him. What happened to everyone else? A name surfaces uncontrollably. Han Yena. Of all people, she lives the closest. And a memory unlocks. She did come here last year. That buried memory now pulses with a dangerous significance. Flashback to a day before the fall. A bunch of guys are crammed in Minjun's apartment, surrounded by beer and snacks. One brags, Han Yena saw me on Instagram, wants to meet up here. The room erupts in disbelief. Why would the school's princess come to this hovel? They're laughing, calling Minjun a demon for selling out his middle school acquaintance. Someone jokes about the trouble he'd be in if he flirted with her. Then the braggart turns, his face a mix of shock and triumph. Hey, Yena just contacted me. The room goes silent. Han Yena really came? Ha ha ha. The news explodes. Minjun stands frozen, sweating, his mind reeling. She really came? On autopilot, he mutters, I'll go let her in, but confusion and a deep unease settle in his gut. The door opens. Han Yena stands there, barefoot, her expression eerily calm. His friend is still loudly welcoming her, introducing the guy from Instagram. Say hello. It's all so normal, and yet completely wrong. But Yena just looks at the smoky, sticky, chaotic mess of the room, frowns, and turns to leave. I'll just go. Minjun is stunned. What? After coming all this way? But what truly stings is her parting whisper. And why didn't you mention it's young Minjun's house? Ugh, so annoying. Alone in the bathroom, Minjun slumps on the closed toilet lid. Han Yin is cold. Dismissive reaction cuts deep. He feels the humiliation, and beneath it, a profound loneliness. In her eyes, just being in his house was annoying. Snapping back to the present, another thought hits. Is she safe? He even makes excuses for her. Her dad's a hospital director. Maybe he knows something. But then he berates himself. Why am I worrying about her? She must be fine. Before the thought finishes, a distant, familiar voice shouts his name. Minjun nearly jumps out of his skin. Is he hearing things? He holds his breath, straining to listen. There it is again. Closer this time. It's Han Yena, but her voice is laced with pure terror and pleading. Young Minjun, are you there? Open the door. Quickly. How is she here? Minjun bursts out his hiding place and wrenches the door open. There she is. Han Yena, disheveled, covered in the grime of the apocalypse. sheer panic etched on her face. They stare at each other in stunned silence. Han Yena, Young Minjun, their reunion, in the middle of hell itself. Han Yena crouches by the brick wall, holding her breath. Did she just hear something? Could there really be something inside? But outside the alley is absolute hell. Screams and roars mix with the carnage. A man in green is violently thrown back. Then, a hand slams against the door. A desperate cry for help, calling out Young Minjun's name. Inside, Young Minjun hears it. He rushes to the door and pulls it open in a panic. Standing there, more desperate than he's ever seen her, is Han Yena. Time is racing. Young Minjun yells for her to get inside fast. But behind her, several infected have already reached the door, roaring as they slam against the last barrier standing. The door is finally shut. Han Yena collapses on the floor, gasping for breath. She's trembling, drenched in sweat, looking utterly wrecked. Young Minjun can only stare, stunned. He tries to ask if she's okay, but before the words are out, Han Yena grabs his shirt in a death grip. The sheer force sends them both crashing to the floor. Young Minjun's mind goes blank. What is happening? To his horror, Han Yena clings to him from behind, holding on like he's a life preserver in a stormy sea. Recruitment page. Young Minjun can't help but ask, his voice shaky. Hey, are you okay? Han Yena looks up, her hair wild. But why are you here? She asks, equally confused and scared. The grip is suffocatingly tight. Young Minjun is frozen, cold sweat dripping down his face. What in the world is this rich girl doing? In his cramped, messy basement, Young Minjun is totally lost. Han Yena is practically sitting on him, clinging for dear life. What kind of reunion is this? Time passes, and the tension finally eases a fraction. Leaning against the wall, Han Yena finally whispers, "Thank you, Young Minjun." Minjun relaxes a little. I'm just glad you're safe. He looks at her seriously. Honestly, if it wasn't for you, I might have already. He trails off, but the meaning is clear. After a moment of silence, Minjun asks cautiously, "Is it just you here right now?" Han Yena's response sends a chill down his spine. Han Yena avoids his gaze. "My parents are fine," but then she reveals the truth. "Do you have any water here? I haven't had a sip in days." "Oh, and can I charge my phone too?" A stream of needs that lays bare her desperation and having nothing left. Finally given water, Han Yena drinks like a plant in a desert, gulping it down greedily. The sound of her swallowing fills the silent room. Young Minjun, what's his anxiety rising? God, how much is she drinking? Water is life now, but one look at her state. Fine. The fact she even made it here alive is a miracle. Finally catching her breath, Han Yena asks the key question. You went straight home and hid that day? Young Minjun freezes. Asterisk, she knows star. Has she been outside this whole time too? Han Yena starts recounting the nightmare evening 3 days prior. That day, after I ran into you near the apartment, something happened, so I went home to change and stepped out for a bit. Little did she know, it was the start of the end. Then, without any warning, the peace on the street shattered. People screamed and ran in terror, and she could only follow, her mind a complete blank. She ran until she found a stairwell in a shopping mall, curling up in the dark. I waited, thinking someone might rescue me, but no one did. Hearing this, Young Minjun's heart clenches. Don't tell me, you stayed there the whole time, alone. In her despair, she found an unlocked door leading to a small meeting room. Luckily, there was a water jug inside. That lone jug kept her alive for 3 days. But 3 days was the limit. Pushed to her limit by thirst, she risked everything to run home. But as she reached the alley, a bloody corpse lay on the ground. Why did it have to be this road? She had no choice but to press on through the dangerous district. That's how I ended up sneaking my way to your villa neighborhood. Her heart sank when she recognized Young Minjun's neighborhood. As she tried to recall the way to his house, a desperate thought kept her going. That Young Minjun, he went home 3 days ago. He's probably still there, right? He was her last hope. Finally, she saw his place. In Esuglo. A wave of immense relief washed over her. She couldn't help but add, "But you're amazing too, for having the courage to come outside." With the immediate danger past, the full extent of her exhaustion hits. Han Yena is utterly spent. My hair's all matted and I feel gross. Is the water still running here? All she wants is a shower to wash away the nightmare. Seeing how soaked she is, Young Minjun blurts out, "Your armpits are totally soaked. Shouldn't you change clothes? Want to borrow something of mine?" The atmosphere in the room shifts instantly. Hearing that, Han Yena flushes bright red and reacts violently. She turns and slams the clueless Young Minjun to the ground. Are you seriously insane? You're every bit the loser I thought you were. No wonder you get hit. The spoiled princess is back. Finally, Han Yina is too exhausted to even cuss him out properly. Grabbing some clothes, she heads for the bathroom. If the bathroom water's running, can I take a shower? She leaves behind a completely petrified young Minjun. Trapped in this grimy basement, young Minjun, the kid who is invisible at school, can only hear one thing pounding in his head. The zombie apocalypse is here, but the real shocker? Han Yina, the untouchable popular girl, is now standing outside his door. This feels more unbelievable than the outbreak itself. The grim math of survival hits hard. He had a plan, food for one. Now, with her here, every meal shared cuts their survival time in half. Waiting for rescue? It just means a slower, hungrier death. Hope is a luxury they can't afford. The irony is brutal. The girl who wouldn't even acknowledge his existence at school is now taking a shower in his house. Minjun's mind is screaming. This plot twist is wilder than any zombie movie. The past comes crashing back. At school, she treated him like an insect beneath her notice. But now, his squalid home is her only sanctuary. The door swings open, and they stare at each other, a cruel joke played by fate. First order of post-apocalyptic business? Clean clothes. I've been wearing this for days. Lend me something. He panics, scrambling under his bed. The final blow? Her casual observation that he's short, so it should fit. The humiliation is unreal. The grim reality of his hoarder's stash hits. Everything smells musty and old. Don't you have anything else? I do, but they're probably just as bad. It's a choice between smelling like decay and wearing nothing. He picks the stench. Of all the things to worry about, she's complaining about the room's odor. I have a sensitive nose. He's seething. The world has ended, and she's critiquing his home's air quality. The priorities are mind-blowing. After the initial shock, reality sets in. Fear takes center stage. What do we do now? Stay here and wait for rescue, right? The question hangs in the air, heavy and suffocating. The waiting game begins. Minjun's casual mention of his original plan to move locations is met with pure fury. Are you insane? We still have food. Going out is suicide. I almost died getting here. I refuse to go. Her fear isn't an act. It's raw trauma. Anyway, now that you're here, we'll just have to stick it out and wait. He tries to sound steady, but she cuts right through it. Then what if we run out of food? What do we do then? The silence that follows is deafening. Minjun's eyes hold a terrifying clarity. He lays out the brutal truth. The only way to last longer is to loot the other apartments. But other units might be infested, and the screams outside are fading. The day the food runs out is D-Day. Yena's face loses all color. But you couldn't hold out either, right? We'll have to go out eventually. He's relentless. Let's think about that when the time comes, she shrieks, breaking down. You haven't even been outside. You don't know how terrifying they are. I almost died running just 1 kilometer. Her fear is a visceral memory. Watching her panic, a cold, analytical thought forms in his mind. You made it 1 whole kilometer safely. Maybe we can learn to avoid them while moving. She stares at him, horrified. Aren't you scared of those monsters? You know as well as I do. He replies quietly, they're just like zombies. The bully boy reveals the depth of his despair. If you get bitten, you end up like them. It's infection. Then, with chilling calm, he adds the kicker. Honestly, I don't even care if I get infected. The room goes cold. That's the final straw. That's your situation. She explodes, pointing a trembling finger. I want to survive. I refuse to end up like them. I'm supposed to study abroad next year. 2 teenagers, one with nothing to lose, one with everything stolen. Their will to live couldn't be more different. But Minjun isn't done. He recalls his observations from the window. The key is to avoid contact, right? You made it all the way here unseen. Those infected, they don't all rush you. Some just walk. Some even look like they're collapsed. He's analyzing this death game like a puzzle. Yena is taken aback. They run slower than a normal person, so we can avoid them. A spark ignites in Minjun's eyes. The first flicker of something other than despair. He grins, a bit crazed. You played tag as a kid, right? Think of this as more intense tag. Night falls, and a new alliance sets its first rule. Yena plants her foot on Minjun's hand. I'm gonna sleep. Lay out some blankets. He stammers an apology. The untouchable goddess, stripped of her armor, reveals herself to be a bossy, slightly violent survivor. Days of terror have drained her. I haven't had a proper night's sleep in days. I'm starting to feel really sleepy. She collapses on the floor. Minjun is left awkwardly holding her foot, sweating bullets. And so begins their bizarre new normal. The sleeping arrangements spark World War III. She claims the room. He finally snaps back. Hey, this is my house, you know. Sleeping by the bathroom is a bit much. Their fragile alliance almost crumbles over real estate. Yena pulls out the ultimate weapon, self-pity and guilt. Fine, fine, I get it. I forgot I'm just an uninvited guest. Must have lost my mind. I'll sleep over there. You take the comfy spot. Happy now. Minjun is completely flummoxed. Ho, they bicker like children. I'll sleep on the bloody stairwell. Hey, that's dangerous. Fine, the kitchen. But still. Finally, Minjun caves, dragging his bedding into the kitchen. The first night of the apocalypse ends in awkward compromise. Alone in the dark kitchen, Minjun stares at the ceiling. Ah, so this is how I end up losing anyway. Sleeping alone is easier, but then a flicker of warmth. Well, at least I'm still inside. And, thanks to Han Yena, I'm not alone anymore. She does talk a lot. The bittersweet smile touches his lips. But next door, Yena's nightmare rages. In the dark, faint growls, growling, echo from her deepest, darkest memories. She curls into a fetal position, trembling with a terror older than the apocalypse. Tortured by her demons, Yena finally gets up. Listening to his breaths from the other side of the door, she hesitates, then whispers, "Hey, young Minjun." In the cold kitchen, the boy curled on the floor looks up, confused. A small, defeated voice inside Minjun asks, "Who am I to reject that? Being alone is terrifying." He pulls the blanket tighter, surrounded by cardboard boxes, clinging to the fragile, distant warmth of another human being. Yena jolts awake from the nightmare, gasping. The candle flickers on her pale face. The sounds, the endless hours hiding on the stairs, they're back, drowning her all over again. She approaches the door, looking at the boy balled up in the kitchen corner. "Young Minjun," she calls again, a plea hidden in her tone. He wakes with a start, his hand instinctively reaching for the makeshift weapon beside him. Chapter 5 blares its title, "Don't Leave Me Alone." Minjun hugs his knees tighter. It's scary being alone. It's not just her fear echoing. Loneliness was the first, deadliest virus to infect them both. Yena lies awake in the dark. This sound, I heard it countless times hiding on the stairs, but it's still unfamiliar and terrifying. Finally, the dam breaks. Into the darkness, she whispers her rawest wound. "I miss Mom." Outside the door, Minjun sits in silence, a lonely sentinel guarding this pocket of despair. A peaceful rooftop? No, this is the kill feed for the apocalypse's live stream. While hell reigns outside, Han Yena is sleeping soundly inside. Ironically, her peaceful slumber only deepens young Minjun's sense of alienation. 1 a.m. She jolts awake, not from a nightmare, but from a gut-wrenching feeling of emptiness. "Do you want to come with me?" Minjun's offer isn't reckless. It's a calculated move to face the nightmare head-on. He chooses to leave. She begs him to stay. Their paths diverge as he pushes open a door to the unknown. The cracked glass door whispers a chilling truth. Their sanctuary is as fragile as the world outside. The air on the stairs grows thick. Yena's senses scream danger, while every step Minjun takes is measured by his own pounding heart. From a peaceful rooftop to a blood-soaked nightmare, Minjun's face is frozen in the horror of discovery. The rooftop guy's girlfriend, now just a corpse and a bloodstain. A moment of silent prayer, then the cold, hard will to survive takes over. Is anyone inside? Yes, someone who's already gone. A simple exchange that turns Yena's blood to ice. 2 survivors, 1 desperate plan, signal for help with fire. But what if the first thing they attract isn't salvation, but death? In the middle of the apocalypse, they're discussing MBTI types. The normalcy of it feels like a cruel, luxurious joke. Her casual diagnosis hits a nerve. This one-on-one time he once fantasized about now feels hollow and awkward. The girl of his dreams is just a stranger he's stuck with to pass the time. The fantasy shatters under the weight of grim reality. We could die tomorrow. Yena's kick isn't just physical, it's a brutal wake-up call. No room for existential angst here. Days pass. Boredom becomes the new enemy. And for the first time, Yena finds a brief escape in a comic book, a genuine smile on her lips. Laundry done. I'm hungry. Wearing pink gloves, Minjun begins to fantasize about the ultimate escape plan. Alone in a dim bathroom, scrubbing clothes. The pressure of survival is turning him from a student into a reluctant servant. Be back in 30 minutes. Yena's order is a thinly veiled threat, a desperate need for control and a promise of safe return. Patrol time. But his so-called safe path ends at a shattered door, painted with bloody handprints. Minjun Survival 101. Lesson 1 on the infected. They hunt the living and ignore the dead. Pure predator instinct. Crucial findings. They're sensitive to sound and avoid sunlight. Daylight is your friend. The night is an absolute death sentence. A terrifying connection clicks in Minjun's mind. The behavior, it's all too similar to an online game he was once obsessed with. If it's not a coincidence, if the game and this reality are linked, then this global outbreak, this is only the beginning of the end. The clock ticks as Yena waits. Her irritation grows into a plan to train this increasingly disobedient companion better. Helicopter sounds again. But what's the use? Hope rises like a bubble, only to pop right in front of her. Despair becomes the new routine, setting fires on the rooftop to signal for help. She realizes now it was just a futile, desperate performance for an empty audience. Over an hour and a half late. Is it the infected? Or has he run? Panic wraps around Yena's heart like a suffocating vine. Worry twists into rage. I'll break his legs. A powerless threat, born from the terror of losing someone you depend on. The sun sets. The night belongs to the infected. Alone in the dark, she makes her peace with the worst. The crushing loneliness of being left behind. Yena is alone in the safe house, waiting for Minjun. The sun sinks, turning her irritation into dread. It's not the dark she fears, but the thought of being left behind again. The door slams open. He's back, finally. Minjun bursts in after 3 missing hours. But something's different. This isn't a return, it's a frantic arrival. Yena explodes. 3 hours late? She thinks he has a death wish, and she's ready to beat some sense into him. Minjun holds up a red flyer, desperate. He was late because he wanted to fetch this. Airdrop from a helicopter. It's the reason he almost didn't make it back. They look closer. The words aren't a rescue message. It's a death sentence, set on a timer. Yena's anger freezes solid. Minjun brings back a single, chilling word. Lockdown. Lockdown? Try abandonment. The entire Gangbuk district is cordoned off. All survivors must evacuate by 6 p.m. tomorrow. They're standing in the middle of the exclusion zone. This can't be real. It's a sick joke. But the blood on the streets and the groans outside their door tell them otherwise. The flyer is an eviction notice from life itself. Gangbuk is a dead zone come tomorrow night. They have to run now. Their district map is a patchwork of red. Their area is caution, right next door to a very dangerous death trap. Waiting for rescue is a death wish. How big is the lockdown area? A few blocks? Or everything north of the Han River? Minjun's sweat turns cold. They might already have nowhere to go. Their only escape route, cross the Han River. But the direct paths are in Yongsan and Songdong, both marked very dangerous. Detour. They have to go east. Yena sees him differently. I thought you were a clueless loser, but you're smarter than I expected. In the apocalypse, first impressions are the first to die. Minjun says they leave at dawn. Yena breaks down. Go where? She shouts. Fear and a sliver of hope wrestle in her eyes. She finally relents. Fine, tomorrow. A single bitter F***CK says it all, the exhaustion of being pushed by a world that's lost its mind. At first light, they pack what's left. All right, then shall we go? 2 simple words carry the weight of leaving their final sanctuary behind. Before they leave, Yena asks the dangerous question. Are you really okay not going to your dad's hospital? Minjun's silence is his answer. Yena forces a laugh. Oh, it's fine. Haha, let's just go quickly. She's lying to reassure him. He's lying to save them both. Minjun replays his final call with his father. Mom's safe. She's in the Gangnam shelter. That memory is now his only tether. The escape begins. Each step crunches on the gore-streaked streets. Every blood-splattered window is a silent scream. An overturned ambulance marks a makeshift grave in the alley. This way, the air is thick with the smell of rust and panic. The sun is out, the streets are quiet. But the bloody swipes on the shattered bus serve as a grim reminder. Daylight doesn't kill the monsters. Is Dong really this far? Minjun doubts the map. Just a bit further, Yena says. They have no idea they're marching straight into a trap. Yena's legs give out. 5 minutes. I'm so tired. Minjun feels it too. They think it's exhaustion. It's actually the calm before the ambush. Minjun's nerves fray with every step and every complaint from Yena. Water is precious. Even complaining feels like a luxury. Ahead, a massive barricade of trucks and furniture. No entry signs. This must be the safe zone. A spark of hope ignites. But past the barricade, deafening silence. It's too clean. No stench of the infected. Something is very, very wrong. Yena est instance crime danger. She orders him to stay sharp. Minjun suggests a quick rest. Don't exaggerate. Just follow me, she snaps. The tension snaps with her words. And then, the nightmare repeats. They're surrounded, just like at the very beginning. A deadly deja vu loop closes around them. Meet Lee Bongyu. He was Park Songbin's boss, arrogant, cruel. But now, look at him, drenched in blood, possessed by a terrifying strength. and that same malevolent obsession still burning in his eyes. He's here, and he's after Yena with a single-minded, horrifying fixation. The real nightmare has just shown up. Minjun, the coward who used to be trampled on in school, has a completely different look in his eyes now. He's gripping that knife, not out of courage, but because he's burned the bridge of running away. Yena's life is riding on his next move. And Park Songbin's thugs? They're still laughing like it's a joke. Think you can run now? Too late. Park Songbin's crew is here, roaring in on their motorcycles. The baseball bat swings with a deadly whoosh. Get down. Whose voice is that? It's a warning. But Minjun has no time. All he sees in his widening pupils is that blood-stained weapon coming for him. It only takes one swing. Minjun is blasted off his feet. The maniacs don't stop. They swarm their fallen prey like hyenas. Grab that bastard too. Smash his skull in. Listen to them. Any shred of humanity is gone. Only pure brutality remains. Watching from behind the wall, Yena feels her blood run cold. Yena peers out to see the carnage, and bang. She runs into a familiar face. Park Songbin, baseball bat dripping, grins as soon as he spots her. Jo, Anjina. That greeting chills her to the bone more than any infected ever could. That's it. Minjun's mind goes blank with a single buzz. Park Songbin. In the apocalypse, he'd rather run into 10 infected than this demon. And the guy looks absolutely delighted. Young Minjun, you dumbass. Why are you with Han Yena? Kakik, look at that smirk. Minjun knows right then. The worst-case scenario has officially begun. Young Minjun, the kid he used to shove around in school bathrooms, was now on a red motorcycle, a bloodied weapon on his shoulder. When he said, sorry, Songbin, and I'll come with you, it wasn't a surrender. It was the moment the rabbit decided to run with the wolves. Across the street, a white car sat caked in blood. Minjun agreed to head to the hideout for the night. It sounded like a plan, but then he saw the underground entrance, the street signs. A chill ran down his spine. He knew these alleys. The alley. Minjun recognized it instantly. It led to the abandoned construction site, the exact spot where Park Songbong used to beat the living daylights out of him. And that was their safe haven. And Yena, someone there just grabbed her. Yena tried to reassure him. Kiki, these guys are cowards, she whispered. Park Songbin has been my errand boy since elementary school. If they try anything, I'll protect you, okay? Minjun looked at her, all that misplaced trust, and felt nothing but dread. Minjun snapped. Are you seriously that naive? He hissed. To you, they're school friends. I know exactly what monsters they are. You still see Park Songbin as that kid you grew up with. The words hit Yena like a physical blow, shattering her fragile delusion. Yena found Park Songbin. Tears in her eyes, she spun her story. Her parents, a shelter in Siapyong, the urgent need to leave. She tried to play the desperate girl card. But when Songbin turned around, his face held no trace of the childhood friend she remembered. Songbin didn't mince words. Siapyong got wiped out. His voice dripped with suspicion. And why would you risk it all? Running off with that loser, Young Minjun. If you want to go, wait and leave with us tomorrow. His gaze was a searchlight, probing for cracks. Yena forced a smile. Anyway, we're going now. That's when someone to their side, without a word, swung a baseball bat, slamming it into the wall right beside them with a sickening crunch. Songbin dropped the act. I said tomorrow. Or is there something going on between you and Young Minjun? Huh. His stare pinned Yena down, stripping her bare. All she could stammer out was a terrified "Pa." Park Songbin. Songbin clenched his fist. Knew it. Figured this would happen. Trapped. Minjun swallowed his fear. All right, now let's just go with them and talk it out. Yena looked away, her voice a whisper of surrender. The sun's going to set soon anyway. And just like that, the two of them were escorted, 5 classmates flanking them, into the belly of the beast. The familiar, dreaded construction site. Minjun tightened his grip on the pole. This is definitely the place. The starting line of his worst nightmares. They'd built barricades on both sides, an effort to keep the infected out. Looks like they put in some effort, Minjun admitted, scanning the crude wooden pallets and scrap metal. Then his expression hardened. Still, it feels kind of slapped together. Flimsy, unreliable. Yena was trembling. Minjun's hand shot out, gripping hers. Don't worry, I won't leave your side. He said it with conviction he didn't fully feel. Then, from behind them, G.A.H. Yena's scream tore through the air. The source of her scream, 2 infected, locked behind a metal door, pounding against it with manic fury. Do you do something about it? Yena shrieked. Minjun just chuckled. Chill. There's no way they're breaking in. Yena pointed a shaking finger at the groaning, rattling door. What do you mean IT won't break through? They looked up. The second-floor platform was surrounded, a sea of infected clawing at the supports below. All right, come on. Climb up here, someone yelled from above. If we pull the ladder up, they can't follow. Simple in theory. But below, the infected were already piling up, roaring, starting to climb. They were finally led inside, the hideout. The interior was splattered with blood. People sat against walls. Supplies littered the ground. A cold realization dawned on Minjun. Did they just find this place? Or did they persuade the previous occupants to hand it over? The moment they stepped in, a bald, heavily tattooed man burst from his chair. We've got new guests. His gaze swept over Minjun, then locked onto Yina with predatory focus. Ah, you're manhwa Yine. His grin was wide, unsettling. This was Lee Bongyu, a self-proclaimed 19-year-old entrepreneur. Nice to meet you. I'm Bongyu Appa. I've been wanting to meet you, Kikik. I followed you on Insta. Why didn't you accept my request? Yina's internal monologue screamed. WHWHO, this pig-faced freak? Bongyu threw an arm around Yina's shoulder. Heard gangbucks getting shut down? Bullshit. All bridges are closed. This place is fucking safe. He gestured grandly at the tents and canned food. Pretty sweet, right? Yina looked at the stolen squalor and mumbled, sorry. In no way. Minjun's eyes took in the metal racks, oil drums, blue tarps. The sheer amount of organized supplies. They seriously put all this together themselves? No way. A darker thought clawed its way into his mind. Did they just break into someone else's shelter that was already here? Someone asked about the day's loot. Bongyu cut in, laughing. We didn't make it to the store, but we ran into these guys. Food's enough already, but bringing a girl? That's a fucking win, Kikik. That laugh. Hearing it, a single tear traced down Yina's cheek. Fuck. Young Minjun was right. I totally got played by this son of a bitch Park Songbin. Seizing a moment, Yina pulled aside a departing Park Songbin. Hey, Park Songbin, can we talk for a sec? Her voice was pleading, desperate. Seriously, knock it off already. Can't you just let me go back? Songbin turned, his expression unreadable. What is it, Yina? Under the night sky, Yina laid it all out through tears. This whole atmosphere is sickening, and the people you hang out with. I'm sorry, but I don't think I can stay here. Songbin stared back, his gaze ice. You think the bridge closing is a rumor? Then I'll just say it's a rumor. And with that, he turned and walked away, leaving her alone in the crushing dark. Yina steeled herself. Young Minjun, let's go BA. A hand shot out, clamping down on her wrist with brutal force. She looked up into Park Songbin's face, twisted with rage. Bitch, you think you could just leave? Songbin held her fast, his grip like a vice. You still think the world works however you want it to, huh? Yina's hand trembled in his. She stammered, her plea a weak whisper. Minjun watched from just feet away, feeling a chasm open between them. That was it. Minjun snapped. His fist shot out BM. One of Bongyu's goons stared, slack-jawed. Huh, this dumbass fucktard young Minjun has finally lost it. Minjun grabbed Songbin's arm, wrenching it away from Yina. Let it go. Songbin shoved him off, a nasty smirk spreading. If I don't want to stop, then what are you going to do? This fucktard young Minjun. The air in the room grew thick, electric with impending violence. Songbin pulled the knife, the same kitchen blade from that morning. If I don't stop, then what? You gonna stab me with that knife? Minjun, cornered, grabbed whatever was near. Come on, stab me, you fucking coward. Someone else yelled, H-E-Y, H-E-Y. What the fuck is this? All hell was breaking loose. Bongyu's voice cut through the chaos, laying down the law. This country is in a state of emergency. I'm in charge. His eyes fixed on Minjun. That knife. Hand it over. Minjun's hand went to the hidden hilt at his waist. His only weapon. Surrender it. And he was prey. Keep it. And he'd have to fight 5 men alone. Meanwhile, Bongyu switched gears, his voice suddenly kind as he slapped Yina on the back, urging her to rest in his luxury tent. He laughed when she jumped. This wasn't a survivor camp. It was a fiefdom ruled by a tyrant and his enforcers. And Minjun and Yina had just become its newest, most vulnerable captives. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. To buy time, Yina plays the hungry girl card with these thugs. But are they your friendly seniors? No. Their eyes are more predatory than any zombie outside. Threat level max. Yina is in their grip, and Minjun is raging inside. Lure the infected in? The idea flashes in his mind like a siren call. But he hesitates instantly. The other survivors, those 3 reliable older men. Can he really trust anyone? Minjun buries his escape plan for the dead of night. Meanwhile, the scent of grilled meat fills the air, mixed with the laughter of these thugs having a party. In the apocalypse, that laughter is a death knell ringing in his ears. But in this sea of scum, a spark of kindness still glows. Even with his own rations meager, Minjun shares precious food with the older survivors. A small act of mercy. Could this gamble be his salvation? Under the night sky, Yenna chooses the lonely firelight over her predators. Her silent resistance? It just fuels their sick excitement. You see that glint in his eye. The harder the prey fights, the more he enjoys the chase. Tensions explode. The fat goon tries to lay hands on Yenna, only to be shut down personally by Park Songbin. Wait, he's protecting her? Don't be fooled. He's no knight. She's just a prize he must claim for himself. Insider betrayal. Anyone? That goon following Songbin around just pulled a knife. His grudge has been festering. The moment he snarls, "I decided I'd kill you first," the look on Songbin's face? Priceless. No more talking. It's a bloodbath. Lee Bongyu unleashes fury without a second thought. No explanations needed here. In their brutal world, the weak don't get a voice. They only get crushed. Now, with chaos reigning supreme, Minjun seizes the moment. A single, determined glance, and he grabs Yenna's hand. One chance. Gotta take it. But freedom is a mirage. A cold blade flashes, pressed against Yenna's throat. She's captured. Minjun turns back just in time to see his world shatter into muted grays. But in the next breath, a blur of motion. A precise strike to the wrist. K.A. The knife clatters. When Yenna finally focuses, her mind whites out. Young Minjun. How is he here? But this is Minjun's first real brawl. Disarming was just step one. Before he can follow through, a vicious kick sends him sprawling. The knife flies. Yenna watches, a scream dying in her throat. It's over for him. He's become the group's punching bag. Fists rain down. His own feeble attempts to fight back? A laughable, pathetic effort against the storm of rage. As Minjun teeters on the edge of blackout, the real devil makes his entrance. Park Songbin saunters up to Yenna. His casual tone cuts deep, unveiling years of twisted obsession. This isn't bragging. It's a declaration of ownership. The mask is off. His expression is pure, unadulterated hunger. Let's see what our fancy little Yenna tastes like. That's a direct invite to hell. And Yenna's scream finally shreds the night. Just as the devil is about to pounce, a forgotten figure lunges. Is that Akchil? No, it's Manager Kim. He tries to intervene and gets a fist that rearranges his whole life for a souvenir. Warnings? Not in Lee Bongyu's playbook. And this is just a warm-up. With the chilling order to toss everyone else out, the gates of hell swing wide open. They're tossing useless people over the edge like trash. Screams and sickening thuds create a horrific symphony. Lying in a pool of his own blood, Minjun watches his former bullies get butchered like cattle. The apocalypse is a sieve, filtering out zombies and trash. Songbin finally gets his prize. He grips Yenna's chin, declaring her new owner. Even his rebellious underling, Bongyu, gets added to the to-be-executed list with a cruel smirk. The throne is his. Alone. Just when they think it's all over, the trash moves. Minjun, playing dead, summons a final surge of desperate strength. A kick, a punch, and his executioners go down. Let's go together, you piece of trash. With a death grip on his enemy, he drags him into the abyss. They thought throwing Minjun down was the end. They were wrong. The second he falls, he makes a deathlock on that bastard Sunjian's clothes. If he's going down, he's taking company. Let's go. Straight to hell. Crash. Two bodies slam into the ground like sacks of meat. Utter confusion reigns above. Kim Sunjian fell. With Young Minjun, the script just got torn to shreds. After the deafening crash, silence. Then a gut-wrenching scream. Kim Sunjian pulls himself up, only to see his leg bent at a horrifying angle, smashed. And lying motionless beside him, the blood-soaked lump that is Young Minjun. Young Minjun, you fucker. Sunjian's rage shatters into panic, then pure desperation in seconds. He watches Minjun trying to crawl away and screams, dragging his shattered leg. The final plea is pathetic. Please, Minjun, help me. The bully, now just a beggar for life. The party on the upper floor is over. Songbin's goons realize the chaos below and panic. Just leave that bastard. And that bastard they're so eager to abandon? It's Yenna herself. She hears it, and she sees it. The one thin thread of hope. Now, Yenna transforms her terror into pure fuel. She pivots and runs, down into the black unknown at full speed. Han Yenna, aren't you going to stop? Songbin's roar is too late. The prey has broken the cage. Yenna sprints across the nightmarish rooftops, guided only by slivers of moonlight. She can't stop. To stop is to be dragged back to hell. Just wait until I catch you. Songbin's ghost haunts her. But freedom is a horizon she's finally chasing. A pursuer leaps down from a ledge, grinning like a cat playing with a mouse, ready to cut her off. But that grin freezes solid. because what he lands on isn't solid ground. It's a trap Minjun laid. Yena calms, a cold resolve settling in. She's not alone in this fight. Minjun is down there. And these two down goons? They're her golden ticket. Now's my chance. She screams into the abyss. This way. Over here. The hunters she's calling aren't men. They're the infected. That bastard Park has chased them onto the roof. His murderous rage is locked on Han Yena, and his entire crew's surging behind him. The entire rooftop has turned into a kill zone. The underground passage is a death trap. As soon as Yena and Minjun got separated, she was swarmed. She screams for Minjun, but it's too late. The infected are all over her. Wait, is that Minjun's voice? He's dangling from a lower ledge. The sheer relief of seeing him alive is short-lived. Getting him back up feels nearly impossible. Yena's at her limit, dragging someone injured. But a new fear grips her. Park Song-bin and his men have vanished into the night. Where do they go in the middle of this chaos? They try to run, but from the shadows, a heavy blow knocks Minjun flat. The escape is over before it even began. The infected's howls echo through the alleyways. Yena clings to someone, refusing to let go. But how long can they hide in this open-air feeding ground? Yena tells Minjun to run and save himself. Is she insane? He shuts that down instantly. He's not abandoning her no matter what. Yena finds a deserted warehouse, a temporary respite. But the dead silence is terrifying. There's no sign of life at all. This quiet feels wrong. Kneeling beside Minjun's unconscious body, Yena shatters. The guilt consumes her. She screams into the silence. This is all her fault. She ruined everything for him. Lost in her spiral of guilt, Yena freezes. A new sound cuts through her sobs. A soft, deliberate footstep from the darkness behind her. Her blood runs cold. She whips around. A figure stands in the shadows. Friend or foe? Human or monster? Terrified, she curls in on herself, screaming into the void, demanding to know who's there. What does the figure in the dark want? They're not infected. They're survivors. And one of them recognizes the face on the ground. It's the guy who helped them back then. The brief relief of the reunion shatters into panic. Minjun's injury is severe, bleeding heavily. Was he bitten? No. He was stabbed with a knife. Meanwhile, Yena is captured by a different group of thugs. They gag her, treating her like a prize trophy. A new, more personal hell begins. Then, a voice of ice cuts through the tension. You have 3 seconds to leave. Alone, limping man blocks the door, outnumbered and unyielding. 3 seconds are up. The man doesn't run. He strikes, fast, precise, brutal. A single knife thrust disables the leader in a spray of blood. A thug tries to use Yena as a human shield. In the next moment, bones crack. Yena stares at her savior in disbelief. Kong Hakchiel. Is he real? They're brought to a temporary safe house. Minjun's wound is treated, but blood loss and shock have him down for the count. He needs a solid day of rest, at least. Yena marvels at Hakchiel's medical skills. He brushes it off as self-taught. But when she mentions Park Songbin's crew, Hakchiel's calm facade cracks for the first time. Hakchiel reveals the bitter truth. There is no safe zone left in Gangbuk. The military's gone. All that's left are the infected and survivors who are even worse. Yena insists she must go to Gangnam. Hakchiel is stunned. The official lockdown of Gangbuk just started today. Leaving now is a suicide mission. Hakchiel shows her the grim reality outside the window. The bridges to Gangnam are monstrous traffic jams of death, swarming with infected. Crossing the river is a pipe dream. Yena's hope evaporates. Then Hakchiel offers a sliver of it, maybe by boat, through tunnels. But is Gangnam even safe? Yena breaks, sobbing. I have to go. My sister is there. Flashback to the early chaos. The military prioritized evacuating children and the elderly. Yena was forced to watch, helpless, as her terrified sister was taken away, crying for her appa. The soldiers promised they'd return. They never did. The true horror came later, when her uncle died. From that day on, her only goal has been finding her sister. After hearing Yena's harrowing story, Hakchiel falls silent. He gets up, packs his bag, and delivers a cold verdict. I'm leaving at sunrise. Alone. Yena snaps. She pleads, begs, throws her pride away. Please, take us with you. Without you, we have no idea how to survive. She's on her knees, utterly desperate. Hakchiel finally stops. He looks down at her, his expression unreadable. Han Yena, you've changed a lot. The words hang in the air. A compliment or a probe. Late at night, in the heavy silence, Hakchiel wakes Minjun with a chilling question. When you escaped the construction site, did you actually confirm Park Songbin was dead? Yena's blood runs cold at Hakchiel's decision. Going back. To the quarantined construction site? It's a death sentence. But the fire in his eyes tells her this isn't a request. He has something to retrieve and a score to settle. Tears fall silently. Yena is dragged back to the memory of her own harrowing escape. 10,000 kilometers from North Korea, a journey made in shadows, paid for with her brother's life. Survival isn't a choice. It's a debt she must repay. She entrusts her last hope to Minjun, while Hakshil leaves only a silhouette and a promise. I will return. The wind howls across the rooftop. Hakshil stands at the city's peak, his barbed bat gleaming coldly. All the memories, pain, and duty converge into a singular, feral purpose. Only one question echoes in his mind. Songbin, you bastard. Are you dead or alive? The final reckoning has come. Chapter credits and promotion page, non-story content. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Minjun jolts awake from a sea of darkness. His head throbs, memory scrambled. Anxious Yena and an unfamiliar room greet him. The name Kong Hakshil sends a chill down his spine. Did the grim Reaper himself pull him back from the brink? Flashes return. The fall from the second floor, with Yena, but everything after is a haze. Hakshil not only saved him, but is also that long-lost legend of classmate. The world has gone insane. Yena's relieved embrace warms him, but a deeper confusion and sharp pain from his wounds take precedence. Yena's emotions finally break. Do you know how scared I was thinking you might die? Her near scream shatters Minjun's last defenses. She's no longer the untouchable princess, but a desperate soul clinging to her last lifeline. Minjun is stunned, speechless, forgetting even how to apologize. But the moment is gone. Remembering how Minjun took a knife for her, Yena explodes. She shakes him wildly. Who told you to get cut like that? I'm grateful, but that was reckless. What would I do if you died? One fears the other's death. The other fears the other's madness. This is their twisted way of caring. The brief reprieve shatters under cold reality. News of Gangbuck's lockdown hits them. Minjun tries to move, only to be slammed back by pain. Then, a sudden knock on the door. Tap, tap, tap. Each one strikes their hearts. They're trapped. It's Hakshil. Without a word, he gently places Minjun's old school bag on the ground. A simple gesture that hits harder than any weapon. That bag holds the last remnants of a normal life before everything collapsed. In the apocalypse, a piece of the past is the ultimate luxury. With his glasses back, Minjun's world regains focus. He asks about the construction site. Hakshil's reply chills him to the bone. Just as I thought, Songbin wasn't there. A simple sentence, a devastating implication. That demon is still out there. Where? Plotting what? A dark shadow falls over the room. Hakshil's next words tear the veil of peace to shreds. He admits he might lose in a fair fight. Then, a chilling smile cuts across his face. But I always win at killing. This isn't reassurance. It's a trailer for survival rules from hell. Want to live? Be prepared to kill. Time's up. Hakshil announces their exodus plan. But Professor CEO, the voice of reason, immediately intervenes. Rashness equals death. They need a meticulous, borderline impossible plan. All eyes lock onto the whiteboard, waiting for him to chart their path to survival, to Gangnam. Hakshil's marker stops on a subway line, line 5. His plan is insane. Use the underground tunnel beneath the Han River. The platform screen doors are natural barricades. But the real question, how do they get in? How they break the lockdown? The shortest path might just be the deepest path to hell. The map spreads out, and despair creeps in. The nearest Line 5 station is a world away, every step a gauntlet. Hakshil taps the board, declaring the first ironclad rule. Don't rush. In the apocalypse, the first one out is often the first one down. Calm is their only luxury weapon. The survival rules get harsher. Second, stay small, move in pairs or solo. Third, and most brutal, don't throw your life away trying to save someone else. It's not selfishness, it's apocalyptic math. Hakshil's gaze sweeps over them all. He needs them to understand. Here, a savior complex is a suicide permit. Theory ends, practice begins. Hakshil tosses something to Minjun, the bar bat crusted with dried blood. Use this as a weapon. The cold, brutal weight of it makes Minjun shudder. This isn't a game item. It's a death warrant, a tool for crushing skulls with his own hands. Minjun's hands tremble around the weapon. Hakshil's practical lesson begins. It's not just for killing the infected. It's for threatening bad people. When you fight back, swing with everything you've got. Hit hard enough to pierce the heart or brain. Each sentence is a hammer, shattering Minjun's old world. The first real mission. Walking the tight alleyways. A war rages inside Minjun. The bloody graffiti on the wall, "Do not kill the infected," feels like a judgment. Those attacking them were once someone's family. If he kills them, what separates him from a monster? Morality becomes his most lethal shackle. Another warning glares from the fence. You may be charged with murder. Hachiel sees right through Minjun's hesitation. He snaps him back to reality. Screw thoughts like that. His voice is a blade. This is life or death. If you don't harden your heart, you're dead meat. Survival starts with killing the softness within. Suddenly, Yenna, who's leading, freezes. Her face pales. Can we not go this way? She smells it again, that uniquely nauseating stench of the infected, overwhelmingly strong ahead. Her intuition, once more, becomes their unseen radar. Minjun's on high alert. He remembers Yenna's abnormal sensitivity to smells, her uncanny warnings. This is no coincidence. Hachiel makes the call instantly. I'll go check it out real quick. Like a drawn blade, he vanishes into the unknown shadows. What Hachiel finds churns Minjun's stomach. Deep in the alley, infected swarm around a mangled corpse. The most horrifying part? Yenna's premonition was 100% accurate. Her ability to sense the infected is brutally confirmed. It's a boon for the team, but for her, it's an inescapable curse. But another discovery steals the air from their lungs. Minjun points to a rooftop ahead. A figure in camouflage, laden with tactical gear, stands silently. I think there's a soldier on that building. A survivor? Or something far worse. An armed infected. Hachiel's eyes shift in an instant. Sneaking into a neighboring building, Hachiel confirms their worst fear with binoculars. Not one, but at least 3 infected soldiers patrol the roof. And one of them is clutching a military rifle. The weapon is intact, but its handler is a zombie. A zombie that can shoot. Pandemonium erupts. Yenna and the professor are adamant. Approaching an armed infected is suicide. Even if they get the gun, what if it's empty? The gunshot would draw a horde. They don't even know how to use it. Amid the despair, Minjun lifts his head, his voice hoarse but ironclad. No, I know how to use it. That weapon, they must have it. New chapter title page, the necessary weapon. 5 words destined to be written in blood. They are about to embark on the most inhumane hunt against their former kind. The plan is simple and brutal. Kill the armed infected soldier. There's no other way. But Minjun trembles. His unease isn't from fear, but from familiarity. The memory of fragging pixel soldiers in games violently overlaps with the reality of killing a soldier turned infected. The blurred line between virtual and real slaughter becomes his greatest demon. In the end, a cold resolve settles in Minjun's eyes. If that's the case, that weapon is something we have to get, sooner or later. Once decided, there's no turning back. Hachiel plans to go alone, but Yenna, moving from terror to resolve, chooses to follow. The Batterchutter finally takes that fatal step towards the bloodstained key to war. Bloodbath on the rooftop. Hakuchiol is in a desperate, brutal grapple with a wounded, infected soldier. Just as the tide is about to turn against him, a desperate roar. Minjun charges in, swinging a baseball bat like his life depends on it, which it does, caving in the skull of the second monster. Survival 101 passes. The veteran-rookie duo just cleared their first hurdle in a spray of blood. The kill shot. Hakuchiol pulls the trigger, the gunshot exploding in the silent city. Blood and tears mix on his face. Is this where the real fight begins? Big mistake. That gunshot is a dinner bell for every monster in the district. Inside, Yenna's heart plummets. 2 shots? Did something happen to them? On the roof, one glance between Minjun and Hakuchiol says it all. Move. Now. A critical miscalculation. Hakuchiol checks the magazine. Cold dread sets in. 3 rounds left. Minjun is still reeling from their close call. But then a distant, guttural groan echoes. They thought the rooftop fight was the climax. It was just the opening act. The noise they made is drawing in the main course, right to their doorstep. Yenna's nightmare begins. Peering through the binoculars, a chill runs down her spine. The streets below are swarming. Every infected for blocks is drawn to the gunfire, converging on their building. Wait, what's that? Among the sea of monsters, one stands out, drenched in gore. It had just looked up. Is it smiling? At me. Impossible. Yenna scrambles back into the shadows, cold sweat pouring. They locked the doors, barricaded the entrance. How are the infected inside? Her mind races, but reality crashes through with a deafening thud and savage roar from downstairs. They're not outside anymore. They're inside the building, and they're coming up. It can climb stairs. Yenna's eyes widen in horror, watching the blood-soaked figure haul itself up, step by agonizing step, using the railing. This isn't a mindless shambler. There's a terrifying, deliberate purpose in its movements. As it closes in, one thought chills her to the bone. That sinister smile. It was real. The smiling demon strikes. The blood-drenched figure lunges from its hiding spot, mouth agape in a silent shriek, its sight locked on Yenna. She's frozen, a scream trapped in her throat. This is it. The end comes not with a growl, but a bloodthirsty leap. At the final second, bang! Another gunshot, but this time, it's right beside her ear. Hakuchul and Minjun burst in. The rifle barrel jammed against the special infected's temple. 3 bullets? Who cares? All that mattered was the one that mattered. The creature is thrown back, neutralized. Back in the safe house, but safety is an illusion. Yenna, still shaking, describes the smile. Hakuchul and Minjun are grim. They saw the entrance downstairs. The door wasn't broken by a mob. It was breached with purpose. The interior was ransacked with disturbing intent. The verdict chills them to the core. The infected aren't just mindless anymore. They might possess intelligence. They might be evolving. Gear up. Survival class is now in session. Hakuchul presses knives into Minjun and Yenna's hands. You have to protect yourselves. His words sound like a last will. If I die, the rifle is yours. Minjun tries to lighten the morbid mood with a movie cliché joke, but the tension is suffocating. Worse, Yenna snaps, shrieking at Minjun, stay away from me. The apocalypse isn't just breaking the world. It's breaking them from the inside out. Yenna's meltdown is a storm of self-loathing and tangled emotions. The grime of days without a shower is driving her insane, but what's truly unraveling her is the unwanted, creeping awareness of Minjun, the loner she used to look down on. Damn it, the world's ending, and she's obsessing over this. Huddled in a corner, she feels like the biggest idiot alive. Minjun is left confused and reeling. What did he do wrong now? The dynamics between this former outcast and the popular girl are now a tangled, fragile mess, strained to the limit by survival. Little do they know, while they're trapped in their personal drama, a new kind of trouble has just found them. The trio forces themselves to move on. The moment they slip into a back alley, a faint cry for help echoes from above. A man with glasses, trapped on a rooftop for 2 days. Is he just another desperate survivor in this hellscape? Or something else? In a world where the infected can smile, trusting a stranger might be the deadliest gamble of all. Just as our trio was about to find a place to rest, a sudden, violent sound erupts. That blue, chain-lock shutter door is slammed with a deafening impact, sending shivers down their spines. Wait, not behind the door, but from above. Looking up, holy hell. An older man with glasses is desperately clinging to the roof edge. He's been chased by 6 or 7 infected for 2 whole days, trapped up there. And it gets worse. When he first signaled for help, people saw him and promptly slammed the door shut, locking him in with a threat. It's the most raw, brutal betrayal in human nature. He begs, his voice cracking. Don't leave. I have to get home. My wife and son are waiting. My daughter is missing. Looking at this desperate father, our leader Kong Hakchiel's eyes say trouble. Rule 1 of apocalypse survival. Don't be a hero. But the quiet boy with glasses, young Minjun, he just clenches his fist, his mind racing. 6 or 7 infected. The risk is insane. Minjun himself is about to utter the words, sorry, we can't. Survival is hard enough. But as they turn to leave, the sight of that desperate man hits Minjun like a sledgehammer. That face, it reminds him so much of his own father, who died in a construction site accident, in a moment he could do nothing about. Just as the team is about to write this off as a tragedy and move on, it's Minjun, the boy always pushed around, the supposed burden, who spins around. His eyes shift, a spark of resolve that wasn't there before. Wait, I think of something. I think I can save him. In this moment, he's not the one being saved. He's the one planning the rescue. His plan is brutal and simple. Minjun plays the bait, sprinting into the underpass to lure the swarm of infected out. Meanwhile, the injured Hakchiel and Yenna will push a derelict white van to block the entrance, all before Minjun can double back. It's insane. A suicide run. Hakchiel looks at him like he's lost his mind. Why risk everything for a stranger? But Minjun's response is just a steely, determined silence. They check the van. Blood stains the driver's seat, but the parking brake is off. It's usable. I told you, don't sacrifice yourself for others. Hakchiel's final warning echoes. What do we gain from this gamble? But Minjun sees the faces of the workers who never came home from that construction site, including his father's. He says softly, but with unbreakable resolve, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. That whisper is woven with all the guilt for a father he could never save. Operation Distract and Block is a go. Minjun charges into the dark, screaming like a berserker. Come on, try and catch me. The low growls in the tunnel instantly sharpen into rabid snarls. He's lit the fuse. Now it's a high-stakes race against an undead horde, and he's the only runner. Above ground, Yenna's heart is in her throat. Hakshiel's face is a mask of pain and strain as he pushes the goddamn van with his injured leg. 1, 2, 3. Tires scream, metal groans. The van inches forward, but time is running out. Where's Minjun? Yenna can't help but whisper his name. It's a plea, a prayer that cuts through the fear. The plan to survive hinges on one thing: crossing underground through the Line 5 subway tunnel to reach Gangnam. And get this, the place where the professor's daughter was last heard from? The exact same line. Their desperate goals have just lined up perfectly, and it's no coincidence. A warm dinner turns sharp as a knife. The professor's casual remark, "My daughter is about your age," pierces through Yenna's guard, dragging up memories of the broken family she fled from. But is this newfound peace real? Just as they let their guard down, the roar of a car engine shatters the quiet. On the roof, Hakshiel's gun is already aimed at the source, strangers in the dark. Yenna gets her first real shower since the world ended. It should be bliss, a moment of pure relief. But the water can't wash away the image of Minjun, the boy she once ignored, now risking his life out there. So annoying, she thinks, but this annoyance is more complicated than any grime. A hot meal, the first in forever, finally loosens the tension. The professor lays it all out on the table. The last known location of his daughter? The exact same subway system, the same Line 5 they plan to use. This isn't a coincidence, it's a collision of destinies. Minjun's mind is racing, the subway map forming in his head. Jangon Station to Gwangnaru Station. 6 stops through a death tunnel across the Han River. A realization hits him. If the professor's daughter is alive, their path to survival will directly cross hers. This isn't just a rescue mission anymore. It's a collision course with fate. The professor lays out his own past nightmare. He tried to drive, got blocked. He tried to walk, only to find the subway entrance swarming with infected. The sight of the carnage, the bodies, it broke whatever hope he had left to go it alone. A new home, a new room. The professor's wife offers her missing daughter's bedroom to Minjun and Yenna. The sudden, heartfelt offer throws them both into an awkward, silent panic. The kindness itself feels like another kind of pressure. The awkwardness follows them, even to the roof. Yenna watches Minjun clutching his gun, even in rest. "Can you really relax like that?" she asks. But the unspoken truth hangs between them. In this world, without a gun in your hand, there is no rest. The clock ticks in the silent dark. Everyone sleeps, but Yenna is wide awake. Past fears and future terrors, thick as the night itself, won't let her close her eyes. Minjun is awake too, haunted by thoughts of his mom. Being surrounded by this normal family only sharpens her absence. It's a raw vulnerability, one he only dares show Yenna. 2 lonely souls drift closer in the dark. Minjun makes a vow. He'll help her find her mom, no questions asked. That simple promise becomes the key, finally unlocking the cage around Yenna's heart. Minjun sees the war inside her. "Are you really okay with that?" he gently asks. It's the final push. She takes a deep breath, ready to tear open the deepest scar she has. The truth is always an ugly thing. Yenna's perfect life was a lie. Her family was a total wreck, a famous doctor father, a mother who left for America, and a stepmother who made her skin crawl. The memory flashes back to the schoolyard. She was part of the problem, looking down on the bullied Minjun, calling him pathetic, weak, and helpless. The irony that now she clings to that same weak boy for survival is not lost on her. Going home was walking into another hell. The girl with the LV backpack dreaded her own front door more than any infected, because behind it waited not a monster, but something worse, her stepmother. Talk about a plot twist. Those 2 intruders with guns are actually searching for the same person as Professor CO. They got a desperate call from their daughter on Line 5 that fateful night. Same exact time and place his daughter vanished. The clues align. This confirms it. Professor CO's daughter might just be on that same train. Hope, however slim, finally flickers from the most unexpected source. A precarious alliance is forged. Info is exchanged. A halfway point to Gunja Station is set. They hand over a walkie-talkie, their new lifeline. The plan is set. Head for the purported mega shelter at Gunja, find the missing, and survive. Every step is a tightrope walk, but it beats waiting for death. The team just grew. Professor CO and his family are coming, but their car is way too small. The professor suggests a desperate alternative, an ambulance 1 kilometer away. Driver's infected, at least 3 more inside. Snagging it is their only chance. The plan is a straight-up death gamble. Hijack a zombie ambulance. Tomorrow morning, their first high-stakes test begins. Night falls. Hakshiel makes the final check-in on the walkie-talkie. Static crackles, a barely hidden undercurrent of tension on the other end. He prays everything goes smoothly. But this eerie calm before the storm? It always signals the worst is yet to come. On the rooftop, Yena jolts awake from a nightmare of bullying. Moonlight reveals how close she is to the sleeping Minjun. His face is right there, and her heart does an unexpected flip. The poor, meek boy she once ignored is now her sole anchor in this hell. This confusing, flustered jolt of feeling makes even the normally composed Yena lose her cool for the first time. Morning brings a chaotic wake-up call. A heated, flustered argument erupts over their inappropriate sleeping positions. Mortified, Yena kicks Minjun. Yep, even the apocalypse can't erase their volatile, spark-filled chemistry. It's a rare slice of normal, chaotic humanity amidst all the horror. Operation Go. Hakshiel and the professor head for the ambulance, while Minjun and Yena keep watch. The telescope hasn't been up for long before gunfire rips through the distant air. Then a blood-soaked intruder from yesterday stumbles back, slamming on their door in a frenzy. He screams that there's a monster out there, bullets do nothing, and his friend is dead. Red alert! The real danger is here now. Minjun looks in the direction of the screams, and his blood runs cold. That figure outside, he knows it. A bloated, blood-soaked body. It's the goddamn boomer from his old zombie games. Fear leaps from the screen into reality. His skin crawls, and it gets worse. The monstrosity smashes the door, screaming a distorted name. Yna. Rewind a few minutes. Hakshiel and the professor are wrestling with the ambulances infected when the gunshots echo. Both immediately know something's gone horribly wrong. But in those few short seconds, the real nightmare arrives. The special infected, Lee Bongyu, has already smashed through their perimeter defenses, slaughtered the second intruder, and is now charging the main house where Minjun and Yena are trapped. Time's up. Minjun recognizes him. Lee Bongyu, an old-school bully, friend of the worst of them. The nightmare has hunted them down in its most hellish form. No time for fear. He orders the professor's family upstairs, then grabs the trembling, panicked Yena. Listen to me, he growls, forcing her into focus. We have one card left. The Molotovs. We burn it. Their last stand comes down to a desperate blaze of fire. The monster at the door is none other than the friend of the bastard who used to bully him back in school. Lee Bongyu. Even this scumbag has evolved. Desperation hangs thick in the air. Minjun grabs Yena, who is on the verge of a complete meltdown, and shakes her back to reality. Listen, his voice leaves no room for argument. Take the professor's wife and child upstairs. Lock the door. His eyes fix on the Molotov cocktails they prepared earlier, a glint of reckless resolve flashing within. We're giving these monsters a barbecue party they'll never forget. The plan is set. Minjun and Yena guard the door, every nerve on edge. Minjun presses the radio, whispering final confirmations to Hakshiel. Every word is hushed, afraid to draw the attention of the death prowling outside. They both know it's a race against time. Once that ambulance is secured, the evacuation has to be lightning fast. Every second counts. Meanwhile, miles away, Hakshiel and the professor face their own terror. An ambulance, marked with the 119 emergency label, sits ominously under the night sky. Its windows are smeared with bloody handprints. Soft growls from within are far more chilling than the cold wind. And back at the safe house, unaware of the approaching storm, Yena sleeps soundly. In her sleep, Yena drifts into a bittersweet, long-lost dream. She's back in that empty classroom at dusk, as if the apocalypse never happened. The ordinary panic of oversleeping and being late for cram school feels like a luxurious, nostalgic escape from reality. The dream takes a sharp turn. Rushing down the hallway, she collides with someone. Looking up, her heart lurches. Glasses, a calm face. Young Minjun. The dream version of him is bold enough to grab her wrist. Yena's mind reels. Is this pervert harassing me, even in my dreams? Yena has reached her breaking point. She slams her fists against the door, the sound echoing through the halls. Young Minjun, open this door now. But from the other side, the only response is a heavy, ominous thud. The sound is unmistakable, something heavy crashing against the door or collapsing to the floor. Then, complete silence. The hallway is frozen, save for Yena's ragged, terrified breaths. The most terrifying suspense has just detonated. Minjun is frantic. He screams at a distraught Yena, trying to shock her back to reality. The thing outside is beyond rifles. If that gate goes down, they're finished. The only way out? Molotov cocktails. It's now or never. The plan is simple and brutal. He'll create a wall of fire, and Yina, from above, will douse the target in gasoline for the final blow. But the noise will draw more infected. It's a gamble. Minjun's hands tremble on the bottle. This is the moment. The first wave of fire erupts. Minjun's Molotov finds its mark, turning the alley into an inferno. Fire can burn the infected, but it won't stop their charge. They're still coming. Flames be damned. This is just round one. They have to keep throwing. No one gets through. Out of the flames emerges the worst of them, Li Bongyu, a burning inferno, still screeching Yena's name. Stopping him? Impossible. But then, Phase 2 activates. Yena appears from above, a deluge of water crashing down on the monster's head. This isn't cooling him off, it's drowning him. Fire and water? Let's add a third element. Minjun's second Molotov smashes right into the soaked head. Fire, water, and accelerant. A custom-made triple hell just for him. Go to hell. But the fire won't hold back them all. The line is broken. A burning Li Bongyu crashes through the firewall. Out of cocktails, Minjun's hope dies. From above, Yena watches him cornered. At the last second, he flings his final bottle, only to face another, roaring infected, charging straight at him. Yena is coming apart. She sees Minjun pinned, covered in blood and flames. Her companion above readies another Molotov, but Yena loses it. If you throw that now, Minjun burns too. I'm going down there. It's reckless, insane, and the most desperate rescue attempt. Hell is burning. In the inferno, Minjun uses his last breath to scream, Yena, don't come down here. Stay hidden. If he falls here, if more infected get in, this is it. This is the end. The firelight glints off his resolute face. He's chosen his exit. Gunfire. Hakchiel. He arrives at the 11th hour, bullets shredding the monster on top of Minjun. Get up. His roar cuts through the despair. But as he drops to his side, seeing the full extent of Minjun's bloody wounds, even the battle-hardened veteran is overtaken by shock and dread. A desperate, frantic escape. Monsters keep coming, survivors sprinting through flames and charred bodies. Hurry up. A car trunk becomes a temporary refuge, but infected are already clawing at it. Rain, fire, and screams. A bloody gristmill for survival. Pedal to the metal. The yellow 119 ambulance becomes the final arc. Minjun fires wildly from inside, blowing back the infected. Let's move. Now. The cabin is slick with blood, but the engine roars to life under their screams. The vehicle tears through the first layer of hell. In the rearview mirror, an entire building collapses into flames, burning figures still chasing pointlessly. The driver's initial terror hardens into icy resolve. The apocalypse is here. To survive, you have to be tougher than hell itself. The street is chaos, but they've carved a bloody path out. This episode is brought to you by Translation Group Name. Join our Discord for more. Crisis averted? No, just swapping one hell on wheels for another. The ambulance careens through city streets, infected pounding on its sides. The driver is petrified, every bump feeling like a blow to the heart. They've escaped a battle, but can they escape this city of the dead? Fog-choked streets, a new graveyard. Zombies shuffle between wrecked cars. Inside their vehicle, Minjun's face is grim. Hakchiel, Professor Sio's family. The cramped cabin is crowded with survivors, but the silence is thicker than the fog outside. Day 20 of the apocalypse, but the title reads, I am not a hero. Finally, what appears to be a safe haven. Minjun, half mad with panic, beats on a green door. Open up. Open the door, or we die. It swings open, and the sight beyond freezes him. Clinging to their heels isn't just a couple of survivors, but a tide of blood-stained, terrified faces. What does he just let in? A brief respite. Minjun clutches his side, waves of pain coursing through him. Yena asks if he's okay, and he brushes her off, saying he'll wait for Hakchiel. Outside, the streets are still chaos. They're heading to a rendezvous point, but the darkening sky and gathering clouds warn of a storm and worse things. Destination, the Sky Motel. The name is romantic, the vibe is downright terrifying. Hakchiel claims he's scouted the second floor. A few rooms are relatively safe, but Yena's instincts are screaming. This unsettling quiet is worse than the growls outside. Is staying here really the right call? Who sleeps where? A new crisis of trust. Yena doesn't want to be alone, suggesting she and Minjun share a room. Minjun goes quiet. The professor's family needs space too. A simple room assignment lays bare the unhealed cracks in their group. Fear is silently dismantling their fragile alliance. The pain is getting worse, much worse. Alone, Minjun pulls up his shirt with trembling hands. What he sees plunges him into an icy abyss. Cold sweat beads on his forehead. The wound is closed? No, not healed. It's something else. Something he can't comprehend and dares not imagine. In the bathroom mirror, Minjun's fear spikes. The wound is weeping. The feeling, it's exactly like an infected's bite. I'm infected. When? He wasn't bitten. The only exception, that stab wound at the construction site. Could it be? Is this how the infection spreads? Fragments of memory flood back. Being beaten down, that brutal fall. If he'd been infected back then, the incubation shouldn't take this long. Unless it was later? But the logic clashes. The theory of the incubation period is crumbling. Minjun's mind is a chaotic stew of fear and jumbled flashbacks. Hakchiel's words are a cruel irony now. Unless you're bitten, you won't get infected. Skin contact is safe. Minjun believed it. But now, the searing pain and wrongness in his gut coils like a venomous snake. No, that's not right. He can feel it. Something is about to break free from inside him. Time ticks by. An oil lamp flickers in the living room. Yena waits for over 30 minutes, worry curdling into irritation. Young Minjun, what are you doing in there? She shouts at the bathroom door. As the last word leaves her lips, through the gap under the door, Minjun's foot suddenly twitches. Minjun emerges, but he's different. He avoids all eyes, especially Yena's. He blurts out that he wants a room to himself. Yena is stunned, demanding a reason. He looks at the floor, mumbling, I just feel uncomfortable and want to be alone. The flimsy excuse drops the temperature in the room to freezing. No one is a movie hero. The door closes behind him, sealing him off from the world. Room number 202 might as well be a tombstone. He thought he could lead them to a good ending. But now he knows in this apocalypse, his story is just an extra, destined to fade away silently. Empty bottles scatter trash, cold walls. Young Minjun sits amidst the wreckage, knees hugged to his chest. The warmth from his gut is gone, replaced by a creeping, icy corruption. I'm just going to get infected and disappear quietly. What was I even hoping for? Silent tears fall. For him, the struggle for survival is already over. That's the moment Minjun's world shatters completely. The apocalypse didn't break him. The bullying and betrayal didn't break him. But here, in this miserable corner, holding himself, he tastes true, soul-crushing loneliness and surrender for the first time. He thought this was always how his miserable life would end. And then, a frantic knocking at the motel door shatters the silence. It's Yena. Dawn breaks, but the danger clings to the air. Yena and Hakchiel reach Minjun's door. A deep-seated dread settles in Hakchiel's gut. The door is locked. Inside, a tomb-like silence. The veteran survivor is sweating as the worst-case scenario forms in his mind. The fight last night. He turns to Yena, the words heavy in his throat. I think he might be infected. Yena's face freezes in horror. Yena snaps. Impossible. He said he wasn't bitten. She refuses to believe it. But Hakchiel's cold, logical analysis is a spike of ice to her heart. Did any of us actually check for ourselves? If he was infected, he'd be going berserk by now with all this noise. But it's dead quiet. His gaze grows heavier, speaking the other, more terrifying conclusion. If he was okay, he'd open the door. So if he's not infected, the implication hangs in the air, worse than the virus itself. Yena's world spins. Her last defense crumbles. To hell with logic and analysis. Fear explodes into pure rage. Yena transforms, slamming her fists against the door of 202. Young Minjun, open this door. Right now. She screams, tears and fury erupting, convinced this is all a sick joke. She pounds and shouts, but only suffocating silence answers from within. Just as her strength wanes and despair sets in, bang. A heavy fist smashes against the door from the inside. Something's alive in there. Hakchiel kicks the door in. A beam of light from his torch cuts through the dark. Yena, weapon raised, her heart in her throat. They storm in, ready for the worst. Only to be met with a sight that chills them to the bone. The figure standing in the room isn't Minjun. It's cut to Minjun, now huddled in another corner of the motel, drenched in cold sweat, shaking with a pain that feels like being torn apart. Clutching his stomach, teeth gritted, he gasps, something's wrong with my body. He has no idea. While he suffers in isolation, a perfect storm of suspicion and lethal crisis, all triggered by him, is crashing down on his friends next door in room 202. Separated by a wall, they're all teetering on the edge of different cliffs.